Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hole in the Wall. It's been a long time coming. I've been MIA for a while, and when I say a while, I mean more than a couple years. Life has been crazy, obviously, and me getting older and being more responsible. Society standards of me having to pay bills and do things that I don't love and I don't enjoy in life took over. But now that I'm older and I have been following politics a lot more in the last couple of years, I feel like I need to speak about a couple things. And FYI, I know I probably have a lot of background noise right now. My AC broke. It's leaking fluid. I've been trying to cool down the house with fans, and I have 6 animals now. Hey! So I gotta think of their well-being before mine. Sorry. Anyways, it's quite interesting, to say the least. With the way the world is going, the U.S. economy, and just everything in general, I feel like I need to speak about some things. Whether you agree with me or not, that is your opinion, and that's your beliefs and what you believe in. I'm not here to persuade anyone into thinking my way. I just feel like I need to speak about this because it's something that's been on my mind since the pandemic happened, but I was also following politics before then. I have felt the need to start this again. Whether life gets in the way or not, I feel like I need to use my voice in whatever way. So this is how I'm doing it. I am making YouTube videos now because I feel like most people don't enjoy just podcasts, and I feel like this is another way to broad out to people because the pandemic, obviously more people are staying at home and doing things online. So I feel like this is a cool way to do it. Anyways, there have been a lot of comparisons lately. I shouldn't say comparisons, but evidence that has come out about the vaccines and the government and the CDC going against their own word. It's just been a lot, you know. I am someone that is non-biased, and I look at facts before my political beliefs. I don't care or subscribe to one party or another, first off and foremost. And secondly, I guess you could say I believed in conspiracy theories, not all of them, but I believed in some throughout the years because there was too many coincidences and evidence in the background that most people weren't observing or paying attention to. So I follow a lot of independent, not politicians, but Republicans, Democrats, independents, leftists, rightists, you know. And I get my news from all over. So one of them is Bill O'Reilly. Another one is Glenn Beck. There is Sam Cedar. There's just a lot of, I guess, YouTube no-name people and red media people that I've been following. And, you know, anyways, I don't want to make this too long of an introduction. So there's someone that I also subscribe to and follow for my information. His name is Roman from Facts Matter on YouTube. And he is a non-biased, factual man. Doesn't subscribe to any political party like myself. So I get a lot of my information from him. He also has a lot of links on where he receives the information. He also is able to get interviews with people from the CDC to respond to him, and other political congressmen and women. He's very reliable for his sources. Anyways, he comes out with a CDC report saying that people with natural immunity, there are no reports saying or concluding that those with natural immunity spread the virus. Even though in Israel they did a report saying that 13%, those with natural immunity in Israel reported to have 13% stronger immunity to the virus than actually getting the vaccine. But the CDC here in America is not acknowledging that and still telling Americans that they have to receive their vaccine. Even though reports of other countries saying that natural immunity is way stronger and lasts twice the amount longer, they are still forcing Americans to do it. Now, mind you, I haven't believed in the government in a long time. I don't trust our government, and I haven't for many, many years, as in since I was a young teen. I found them kind of shady, the things that they would say, even though I was not into politics as much as I am now. I still didn't trust them. And for these types of facts to actually come out, I don't trust them, and I never will. Sorry. Yes, I do have my vaccines, like polio and measles and stuff. The reason why I'm okay with my parents giving me this, and mind you, my parents didn't just do it to do it, like some parents are doing it with the vaccine currently for COVID-19. My parents were okay with me getting vaccines for stuff like that because before they made it a mandatory thing, it had been out for years of research before they made it mandatory. Obviously, the vaccines have not been out for years, and they are forcing people to take it, even though studies like Israel came out and proved otherwise. So, the CDC article Roman puts in his YouTube video, and I will be showing that here, a clip after I read the article. But the CDC article says, CDC, no record of natural immune transmitting COVID-19. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, says that it has no record of people who are naturally immune transmitting the virus that caused COVID-19. Now, this is an article from thepoachtimes.com. It states, documents reflecting any documented case of an individual who, 1, never received a COVID-19 vaccine, 2, was infected with COVID-19 once, recovered, and then later became infected again, and 3, transmitted SARS-CoV-2 to another person when reinfected. A search of our records fail to reveal any documents pertaining to your request. The CDC Emergency Operations Center conveyed that this information is not collected. This is a whole letter that is from the Chief Operating Officer, Roger Addo. I probably butchered his last name. at all. But November 5th of this month just came out stating this. So if the CDC is reporting that they have no record of this at all, then why are they making it a mandatory thing? Now, in my opinion, I have a blog and I talked about this back in October. With my post on my website, which I will link to, you can read it. I have a lot of links pertaining to things. It's Poison, Goldmine, or Control. That is the name of the topic. But I talk about how Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates were connected. Obviously, it's been proven. Many articles, documentation has come out over the years. But Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates have known each other for over a decade. How they worked together on the HPV vaccine and the HIV vaccine. There's just a lot of evidence that it's mostly for money gain. And in my opinion now, probably population control. Why? We don't have enough resources for the population that we have and we currently have, yet we're still going up in population. I think it's a way for the government, our government, and possibly others. There's a lot of news around the world. It's hard to keep up. So I kind of just focus on my country. I think it's a way for population control. We are way too populated in this world. Our resources are running out. There's not enough food, shelter, purified water for us to drink. So it kind of makes sense. Now again, that's my theory, not facts. Don't take that to heart. But going back to Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates, they quote, a CNBC article states, quote, Fauci and Gates have known each other for more than a decade, often collaborating on the foundation's vaccine efforts, the Bill Gates Foundation. They worked together on the Foundation Global Vaccine Action Plan, in which Fauci served on the Leadership Council. They also worked together through a collaboration between the Foundation of the National Institute of Health amid to developing gene-based therapies for HIV and sickle cell disease. So, if you continue to read the blog on scroll.in, it was written on January 17th of 2018. It went on to explain the relations between India and Bill Gates, continuing to talk about the effects of HPV and the illness that comes with having it. In the safety portion of the article, they go on to state, quote, concerns over safety of the HPV vaccine in India go back many years. In 2009, an HPV vaccine trial conducted that the Program of Appropriate Technology in Health, a nonprofit organization in the United States, came under scrutiny for endangering the lives of participants. The study involved vaccinating 13,000 girls, and 10,000 girls aged 10 to 14. The government halted the trial in March 2010 after 7 girls who had received the vaccine reportedly died during the trial. A government inquiry concluded that the deaths were unrelated to the vaccine. 1 death was due to snakebite, 1 girl drowned, and 2 committed suicide by ingesting poison. Take that into consideration. A standing committee later concluded that the study violated ethic norms in India's laws and regulations. The Supreme Court is currently hearing a public interest field in 2012, raising question about the trial and the vaccine. Through the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation posted on their website, there is no published date available, but in the URL it writes 2010. We can only assume that it is when it was published. So if you go onto their official site, you will see no published date, obviously. I've noticed that a lot of the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation website has no actual written dates on when they publish it, except for in their URL. Not on the actual site itself. Kind of weird. Either they don't give a shit or they're trying to hide shit, and most people aren't that observant and don't pay attention, so maybe they're trying to trick people. I don't know. Now, this is from the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation site where I just talked about. There was no date. The opening paragraph, they say they will be working with the World Health Organization and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. If Bill Gates is funding the HPV trials in India while working with WHO along with Anthony Fauci, then what makes you think that they would allow bad media press to be exposing the negative impacts they are creating in India's female population? Quoting scroll.in, quote, the WHO issued a safety update on HPV vaccine in July 2017. That was many years later after they were under investigation in 2012. Recording that findings of the Global Advisory Committee on Vaccine Safety that investigates report of adverse events. The committee concluded that there is no evidence to suggest a causal association between HPV vaccine and the neurological and chronic fatigue disorder. Now, if we go up more, I'm kind of jumping all over the place to give you an example. Now, if you go up more towards the top, I will talk about how they did their research for the HIV in Africa. So in 1996, John Bartlett and Anthony Fauci put into action the first African prevention HIV vaccine trial in Uganda. John Bartlett retired from his position as panel co-chair at the end of 2013 after they were investigated. It does not give dates of months when, but this is literally a year after they started to get investigated. A position he has held since the panel created in 1996. Now, I'm not one to straight out say, see, this right here is enough to prove me right. No, I'm just presenting the facts, connecting dots that are scattered about. There, if you do your research and look and look and look, which this took me a good 3-4 weeks, almost a month, to find this information and properly document it. I did find this information. Now, most people don't have the time on their hands to do this like me, and this is why I do it, so people can actually know the facts and not just what's on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch, the unreliable sources. These are governmental facts. The year 2000, Fauci and Bartlett forms the HIV Vaccine Trial Network, HVTN, completing the first African HIV vaccine trial in Uganda. In 2009, the Phase 2 of HVTN 505 study was initiated to evaluate a prime boost vaccine regime developed by the VRC. Results of Phase 3 Thai trial, RV144, revealed that the vaccine combination demonstrated a modest prevention effect in humans. The trial, which enrolled more than 16,000 volunteers, was the first and to date only large critical study to demonstrate efficiency for an investigation HIV vaccine. At a press conference in 2009, the United States and Thailand announced the first positive results for the HIV vaccine trial. The RV144 vaccine, combining ALVAC and AIDS vax, had moderate success with HIV infection. Anthony Fauci quotes, quote, "Incertain and encouraging advance for HIV vaccine field," unquote. This quote was published September 24th, 2009. However, October 5th of 2009, the Wall Street Journal, as well as Science, went on to question the findings. Now, back to September 24th, statistics of 74% of the 8,198 people who received the placebo became infected with HIV, compared to 51 of the 8,197 vaccinated individuals. A statistically significant 31% protection efficiency. But a second analysis of the trial data, which excluded participants in both groups, that was not strictly adhered to the trial design, also not disclosed to the press conference, was revealed by anonymous researchers. These individuals were given confidential information stating it was only 26% efficiency. Fauci went on to make a statement October 11, 2009, quote, "Both results would have confused anyone, but the first analysis is the gold standard." Jumping to 2013, the trials of HVTN 505, now this is in Africa, this is the African test trial, were stopped due to lack of efficiency. This could be because John Bartlett stated that about 2/3 of individuals infected with HIV virus died of non-AIDS defining illness such as premature aging, cancer, cardiovascular disease, liver disease, and others. He noted the need for more research on these. So I went to do my own research because I was like, I know some information about HIV, and some of those ring the bell on they are related. So I got information from or.nih.gov. The side effects of one getting HIV. So you have cervical cancer, all cancers of all types, but cervical cancer was the main one for the HIV trial vaccine in Africa. 2, kidney disease. 3, liver disease. And 4, cancer of the blood vessel walls. It is rare, but it happens. And then I went to go do my research on that one, and that is a cancer that came up in the HIV participants. Now, they really weren't participants. They were kind of forced to do it. So all this information is on here. And then if we go to Glenn Beck, he talks about, quote, what Bill Gates recently stated.
We're shut down for saying something like this. This is Bill Gates last week in the United Kingdom. I want you to hear carefully what he says.
The economic damage, the deaths, it's been completely horrific. And I would expect that will lead the R&D budgets to be focused on things we didn't have today. We didn't have vaccines that block transmission. We got vaccines that help you with your health, but they only slightly reduce the transmissions. We need a new way of doing the vaccine.
We need a new way to. Wait a minute. What did he just say? Because if I said anything like that, I would get strikes. I would be banned from the internet.
So all this information is at your fingertips. People don't want to talk about it. One, it'll get you in trouble. It will. The government is working with Google because Google's been in trouble the last year and a half. So, of course, Google is doing whatever the government says, censoring information. One, this will get you in trouble if you talk about it. And people like me don't care. I'm going to talk about the truth, regardless if it gets me in trouble or not. Why? Because it's facts. It's the truth. And people like myself need to talk about it. Period. It doesn't matter if people talk about it or not. It's eventually going to come out. It's facts. It's already starting to slowly leak with everything. It's just some people like myself were paying attention months prior, years prior to it. There's already been reports of some independent journalists who have been arrested by the FBI for their journalism. And I thought about not continuing doing this at first. But then I thought to myself, why? It needs to happen. People need to talk about it. The more people that get arrested for using their voice, the more people like myself are going to step up and use it to replace them. So, regardless of how hard the government tries to silence us in any way, it's not going to happen. And I'll be linking all the information down below. I love you guys. I miss you guys. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you think about all this information down below in the comments, and I'm going to read them. And I will discuss them and read them aloud in the next video, because I am very curious to hear from you and your voices. Now that you have the evidence and the facts, please make your own decisions. Use the brain that the universe and your mother birthed you. Use that brain to make your own conclusive information. I love ya. Take care, guys.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Bye.